What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to breach a subject that may upset some people. Some things in this video may trigger you, so just trigger warning ahead of time. You know, you might see some opinions that you disagree with. Here's some opinions you might disagree with. You might see some things that you don't like. I'm just warning you ahead of time because today we are going to breach the subject of Relic guitars and why I think most people are wrong about Relic instruments. I really like them. One of the tropes that you'll hear is, that's just a guitar that's been drugged by a truck. Why would you buy a beat up guitar? All it is just a beat up old guitar that wasn't earned, all this kind of stuff. The earning part, I don't care about that. You can make character judgments about somebody and I'm not going to do that. That's not how I roll. I want to talk about the actual instrument itself and what it is and what it is not. So what we're going to do is we have this guitar. This is one of those Mike McCready made in Mexico ones. And of course, and I understand this is not like a custom shop grade of that, but I really like this guitar. It's really nice. It feels really good. But it's not just a beat up guitar, right? It's not just something that you paid extra for paint falling off. Well, maybe it is, I don't know, but it's not just a beat up old guitar. So, or a beat up new guitar. So what we're going to do to prove that is I have this other guitar. This Fender Squier Strat with a tobacco sunburst finish that I bought brand new off of Amazon. And what we're going to do is we're going to use this guitar and I'm going to show you the things that actually happen to old guitars that you would never do on a Relic guitar. If you were to just allow old guitar stuff to happen, chances are it would just make a bad guitar. And then when we get done with this, I'm going to show you what the difference is and why I choose to play. Well, this is the only one of these that I have, but you know, if I could afford it, I would have a bunch more. I really like them. So I'll tell you, we'll talk about that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this guitar and we're going to mod it. We're actually going to Relic it today. So this is where you might get a little triggered. And I'm going to show you some things that happen to guitars as they get old that you would never want to have happen, that you would never pay extra for, that just make a guitar bad. So, let's get into it. You might want to sit down for this. All right, so we're coming out on the porch to do this. One of the first things that'll happen to a guitar that you never really want to do, and you wouldn't want to have on an actual Relic guitar, is you don't want to have worn out frets. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to wear out some frets. Probably there. Probably there. Right? And probably somewhere in this area. Right? And then probably in this area. See, I'm relicing a guitar. If this is the way people think you relic a guitar, or you just buy an old worn out guitar, then this is what you would do, right? I mean, if we're doing it the way I'm telling, the way y'all are thinking, all right, boom, step one. All right, now step two is going to be, to go along with that wear, we probably should have some fretboard wear too, right? Like you get those little divots in there on an old guitar, so let's do that too. Probably more up in this area, I would think. Kind of make that like C chord. All right. All right. So now we've got some proper divots because all we're doing is we're just beating up a guitar. If you're relicing a guitar correctly, then you're just really just beating it up for no reason. Why would you buy a beat up guitar for no reason? Well, let's do things that happen to old guitars that actually happen. Okay. All right. Now we've got that done. All right. So we've got the fretboard all beat up. We've got the frets all worn, etc. And the other thing that probably would happen is let's usually some unwanted dings happen on the back of the neck. Doesn't that usually happen from like leaning against stuff by accident, like yeah, kind of like that. Yeah. Yeah, just kind of beat up, you know. And then maybe sometimes maybe there's like a chunk out of the headstock somehow. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, this is perfect. Yeah, that'll work. All right. What else typically happens? I guess we can go back in the office for the rest of it. I just didn't want to have shavings and sawdust around my shop. All right, let's go back in the shop, and now that we've got the neck properly reliced, and we've got the fretboard properly reliced, and we've got the frets properly reliced, I've got some other ideas too. All right, one of the other things we probably should do is we should bend some of these tuners, because I don't know if these will bend actually. They might just break. Okay, well, maybe they'll kind of break. Yeah, that makes sense, right? That happens on old guitars. Something you would never pay for. There, now we've got some bent tuners. Perfect. Now the other thing that can happen a lot of times is you can have cigarette burns and such. So what does that usually happen? Right about here maybe? All right, cool. Something like that. All right. Let's put a little wear down there for, see? We're relicing, man. All right. All right, cool. We got bent tuners. You'd never pay for that. Cigarette burns, maybe you would pay for, but we'll just throw that on as a bonus. You'd never paid for ruined frets. You'd never pay for a ruined fretboard. But that happens over time. The other thing we should do, we might have to take this back outside again because I don't want to do this inside. Okay, one of the other things that'll happen on an old guitar that you would never pay for, and we need to do this outside, is corrosion and rust on hardware. So what I'm going to use is, this is some stuff that I use to actually blue hardware. It's basically acid. So we're just going to put this all over the hardware, and I'm going to just let it sit there and do what it does. So, in fact, here, who cares? Let's just give you a little, there you go. Something like that. And then, of course, the pots aren't going to work very good, so we might as well. Hey, man.
What's going on? I'm sorry about that. The dog got out and we had to chase him over here.
Oh, no stress.
Oh, man, nice guitar.
Oh, thanks.
Get out of here, man.
Oh, no worries. All right, so rusty hardware. That's something that you don't really pay for, and you wouldn't pay for, because you want your hardware to be functional, right? you definitely want your hardware to be functional. All right, I would say, whoops, drop the screwdriver. I would say another thing probably you wouldn't want to have on a Relic guitar is a chipped off nut. So let's go ahead and bust off this nut on the corner. All right, it's probably something that you probably wouldn't want to have. There we go. Perfect. That's an old worn out guitar thing that probably happens. The other thing we probably don't want to have happen is some random high frets. So let's just make some random high frets here. Just because. All right. So now we got some random high frets. The other thing would be we probably need to, I don't know if this is going to be in the shot or not. Yeah, this will be in the shot. Okay. The other thing we need to do is probably the neck joint. Let's see, what's the easiest way to do it? Just go like this. That way none of the strings line up with anything. Plus we've got the busted nut. So that's pretty cool. And then, oh, you know what we need to do too? We need to bust off some pieces of pickguard. Let me go find a better prying tool for that. I feel like this part of the pickguard gets broken off a lot. So we'll do that. All right, that's good enough. Probably you're gonna end up with a bent switch on an old guitar. Oh, and maybe just not even a switch tip. Just the switch tip's just gone on the bent thing. What else? Oh, I know. I didn't even think about it. Hang on. On just about every old worn out Strat, the strap button is stripped out. All right, so then what we do is we just take it out and then we just put it next to it sort of crooked. Kind of like that, but not on the right angle because the do-it-yourselfer at home did it. Boy, these screws suck. Apparently I don't know how to screw a screw. Maybe I shouldn't work in the Fender custom shop. Must be why I don't. There we go. All right. Now we've got our stripped out and off to the side, a little bit on an angle, kind of crooked. That'll work. And then the other thing, that this will happen here too, watch. If this screw gets stripped out, oh, I know what else needs to happen. The output jack needs to be really loose and rattly and spin around in there. And then this hole needs to be sort of busted out on the side, because that'll happen in an old Strat. And then you'll sort of have to kick it to the side a little bit to screw it back in. So I'll do that. All right, so the football will be a little loose, the jack is loose. Perfect. What else we got? I was gonna break off parts of the pickup covers, but that just seems like too much work. and I'm too lazy to do that. And that doesn't always happen, so we'll give that one some grace. Yeah, I mean, other than that, I think that's... Oh, and then the other thing that'll happen is people will, because they, you know, need more sustain, bro. Oh, my neck's not tight enough. In fact, let's loosen it up first. Whoops. Automatic Relic. More worried about my leather on my desktop. All right, so let's make sure that this is good and crooked. Okay, but sustain, bro. So let's go ahead and kick this down pretty hard and make it to where there's like little cracks around the finish, right? So it cracks the finish around the neck plate. Perfect. Neck plate's a little bent. That's exactly what we're looking for. Awesome. Yeah, cool. This guitar's getting there, man. This guitar is getting to be a beat up pile of crap, which is what people think Relic guitars are. Yeah, you know, this is the kind of guitar that you would see on Craigslist and you'd be like, oh man, who took care of that? Nobody. Tuners are all bent up. Neck's all beat up. The frets are all worn out. Neck's crooked. Jeez, the action is trashed. Oh, look, there's these high frets where the strings are getting stuck underneath it. The hardware's all rusty. I mean, it looks like it's in great shape because there's no scratches in it. But the guitar's a pile of garbage. Huh. How did that happen? It's because it's an old beat up guitar. It's a piece of junk. Yep, that's an old beat up guitar. It's actually a new beat up guitar, but I'm doing that for a purpose. Oh yeah, hardware's getting nice and rusty. All right, what's the point of all this? Let's have a chat about Relic stuff, shall we? Okay, so I don't care what anybody else thinks. You cannot like pre-aged guitars if you want. That's fine with me. I love them. And really the point of doing all that was for fun. And also because I know that it's going to be fun to watch for some of you, and it's not going to be fun to watch for some of you, but it doesn't matter. The reason I buy, or I enjoy, this is the only one I have, but the reason I enjoy pre-aged guitars is because of the way they feel. Honestly, I don't care about the beat up paint part. What I care about is how they feel. So this guitar, the neck is not all beat up. Like none of those things that we just did to that guitar are present on this instrument. But what is present, oh, except for maybe the cigarette burn right here, the fake cigarette burn. But what is present on this guitar is the feeling of an old guitar. The feeling of the finish. It's not too shiny. It's not beat up, but it's not too shiny. Feels kind of dirty. Feels like it's been played a bunch. The fretboard has been thoughtfully rolled, right? It feels like an old guitar. The reason I like that, I don't like that all the time. Sometimes I like a brand new guitar. My new Martin, I want that thing to be as brand new feeling as possible forever. My Les Paul, I don't really want to beat it up. But for some reason, especially with Strats and Tellys, I just like the old feeling. And if I had a custom shop, actually I take that back, I do have a custom shop Gibson that's got an aged finish on it. And I really like how it feels. It's a tactile thing for me that it just feels different. And you could say, well, that's not earned. Well, you know what? Let me tell you something. At my age, I don't have 70 years, 60 years, 50 years of gigging every night to wear a brand new guitar out. I have some nitrocellulose lacquer guitars that are awesome that I don't clean on purpose. And I've had them for years and I play them a lot. And they still look pretty okay. They don't, and they feel pretty new. So if I were to say, okay, I have 50 years of gigging every night to wear the guitar out, so that, not wear it out, but to wear it in to where it feels like that, I'd be totally stoked. The problem is that when you go and buy an old vintage guitar, you have to deal with a lot of this garbage too. So when you buy a new Relic guitar, what I personally get is the feel of an old guitar with the functionality of a new one. And I think, to me, for me personally, and again, everybody can feel differently about it, the whole earned thing is stupid to me, because I feel like you're making a character judgment about a person, and I don't do that to people. Like, you don't deserve, whatever. That's stupid. That's just talking down to another person. So I don't care about that so much. I know a lot of people will make those comments, but you buy whatever guitar you want, and you can enjoy it however you want. But this is why I enjoy this guitar. And honestly, this is one of my favorite Strats of all time. And I've played a lot of really good vintage guitars, and I really enjoy it because it just feels the way I want it to feel. So there you go. It's a feel thing for me. Honestly, if it wasn't beat up as much, it wouldn't bother me. But I would want the paint to feel old. I would want the neck finish to feel old. I would want the fretboard to be rolled over. Really nice. I would want the hardware to be not shiny. I would want... I don't care about the non-matching knobs and all that kind of stuff. Doesn't bother. That, it could be either way. I do like a not super shiny pick guard. I like the aged clay in the fretboard. Yeah, I like the non-shiny of it. So if I had a custom shop guitar that was non-shiny but not this beat up, that'd be okay. It doesn't have to be this beat up. But either way, I don't care. I like it. I think it's awesome. And you can disagree if you want. Talk about it in the comments all you want. And there you go. I guess the only thing to do is, from now, is go find a poor kid for this Strat. Thanks for hanging out. Subscribe. We'll see you in the next video.